Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck is a spicy one that I'm very proud of. This one is called Get Folked, because we're taking Merfolk and turning it up to 11. They are assimilating every creature type to becoming one of them with Leyline of Transformation, and this deck actually has some pretty ridiculously deep, awesome synergies that kind of come out of nowhere and are absolutely nuts. There are a bunch of versions of Merfolk that I think we can build with Leyline of Transformation, and this one is just basically skimming the surface of all of the crazy ideas I have. And throughout the course of brewing this one, I came up with a lot of crazy ideas, so I'm excited to get to those eventually, but I wanted to make sure and get this first version out. This is Esper, and it's absolutely bananas. We have a soft lock. We can prevent our opponent from ever casting non-creature spells again for the rest of the game if things can just get lined up right. And we have so many different ways in this deck of ensuring that we can get those things lined up just right. It's awesome. Before we break down the deck, please like the video so I can get it out to more people. Also subscribe if you're new so you never miss an upload. And catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. If you're seeing this the day it goes live, I might be in the middle of community night over on Twitch, and you can come and play games against me. That happens every Thursday, so I'll see you there. Let's break down the deck. This is Get Folked. And this is probably the craziest attempt at trying to make Leyline of Transformation work in a tribal deck. We're using Deeproot Pilgrimage, 1 blue and 1 for an enchantment. Whenever one or more non-token merfolk you control become tapped, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with hexproof. So we want to go as wide as possible with as many actual creature cards that are merfolk in order to get a ton of value off of Deeproot Pilgrimage. But the best way to go wide with creatures that can trigger this is not to actually play more merfolk, but to play Leyline of Transformation, 2 blue and 2 for an enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you start with it in play, and when it enters, you get to choose any creature type. Every creature is that creature type. So now everything in the deck is a merfolk, and everything, when it becomes tapped, will trigger the Deeproot Pilgrimage and give us a token. So we should be able to go insanely wide with tokens, but it doesn't stop there. We're also using Vodalian Hexcatcher, 1 blue and 1 for a 1/1 merfolk wizard with flash. Other merfolk you control get +1/+1, so all those tokens are now going to get buffed up and become 2/2s. And you can also sacrifice a merfolk to counter a non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. So if we do our job right, we're going super wide with merfolk, and we have so much ability to just sacrifice merfolk to counter non-creature spells that our opponent just can't land a spell. Even if we have to sacrifice all of our tokens to, counter their Sunfall or whatever, we just gas up and make a whole bunch more the next turn. Now, the way we make this deck worth it, and it's worth using Leyline of Transformation, is by using vehicles. Because what's great about vehicles is we can crew it by tapping another creature, and we can do that as many times as we want, being able to trigger the pilgrimage without needing to attack or without needing to have any ways that are expensive and cost mana every time you do it. But also the vehicles themselves become creatures that then will also be merfolk because of the leyline, which means that when the vehicles become tapped, we get even more tokens. So one perfect example is Subterranean Schooner. We're running 4 of this card, 1 blue and 1 for an artifact vehicle. It crews for just 1, which means if we have 3, 4, 5 merfolk in play, we can crew one of them, crew one another one, crew one another one, until we tap every single one, and each one will give us a merfolk, which is really, really important because Deeproot Pilgrimage only triggers whenever 1 or more non-token merfolk become tapped, which means if we just attack with everything all at the same time and tap them all, we'll only get 1 token off of that because a whole bunch of merfolk are becoming tapped all at the same time. But if we tap them all individually by crewing 1 as an individual instance over and over and over again, each one of them can actually make a merfolk token, which is incredibly important. We've seen this done way back when these cards first came out, when Ixalan was a new set. This was kind of a thing people were trying to do, but now that we have Leyline of Transformation, I just think there's ways to turn it up to 11 and take it to crazy new heights. Like I said, these vehicles counting as Merfolk is one of those ways. So we can tap all of our Merfolk independently, make a bunch of tokens. When the schooner attacks, it will also make another token because it will be a Merfolk, and then also target creature that crewed it this turn gets to explore, so a little bit of extra value. We also have 4 Flywheel Racer. Nobody has ever used this card because it hasn't quite been good enough, but in this deck it is amazing as copies 5 through 8 of Subterranean Schooner, and in some cases even better than Subterranean Schooner. It also has Crew 1, which means it can tap down our whole board with individual instances so that we can make a whole bunch of Merfolk tokens, but it's also a Vigilance attacker that can swing in and then still be tapped for mana after swinging in. So not only can we get some extra damage in, but then tap it for mana. When we do, we make another Merfolk token, and then we have more mana to cast more things, to have more things to tap, to make more Merfolk tokens, which is nuts. And remember, all of those Merfolk tokens going wide are getting the buff from Hexcatcher. The vehicles themselves are getting buffed up by Hexcatcher since they count as Merfolk, and all of those Merfolk can be sacrificed to counter non-creature spells unless their controller pays 1, which is just absolutely insane. The rest of the deck is just nailing this home and reinforcing that concept. We've got 4 Novice Inspectors and 4 Spyglass Sirens because they are each 1-drop creatures that will count as Merfolk once we have the Leyline out, and when they tap, you know, they're able to make more Merfolk tokens and all of that good stuff, but they also make artifact tokens when we play them. And there's a good reason for that. Not only can we get card advantage and dig for the pieces of our combo that we need, Map can dig us closer to the next card by surveilling, essentially, or just putting a land in our hand. Novice Inspector gives us a clue that can be sacked to just draw a card if we need to dig another card deeper, try to get to our pieces. But both of them making artifact tokens works in our favor as well because we're running 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror. This is basically copy 5 and 6 of Leyline of Transformation, because if we don't have a Leyline in our opening hand, on turn 4 we can play it, and if we don't have it, we can play Beseech the Mirror, sacrifice one of those early tokens, or maybe even a Merfolk token off of Deeproot Pilgrimage, to find our Leyline and jam it on the battlefield. And what's great about Leyline here is even if you have to hardcast it, it's not always a dead card like a lot of Leylines are the turn that you hardcast them. Because if we set up with Pilgrimage on the board and Hexcatcher on the board and a bunch of non-Merfolk creatures on the board, and we just jam this on turn 4, whether because we're hardcasting it or we're just finding it and playing it for free with Beseech the Mirror, now all of a sudden all of our creatures just gain the ability to swing in, make Merfolk, get buffed by the Hexcatcher, be able to be sacrificed to counter spells. All of that just comes online, and it helps make Leyline of Transformation feel less bad when it's not in our opening hand, which I think is really, really important. Because we're going super wide with a bunch of creatures we want to be able to tap anyway, we also have 4 copies of Meeting of Minds, 1 blue and 3 for an instant. You can convoke it, draw 2 cards. Sometimes you're just tapping 4 tokens to draw 2 cards and paying 0 mana, which is absolutely insane. But we can also tap one of our normal creature cards as part of the convoke cost on this to help pay for it, and generate a Merfolk token with Deeproot Pilgrimage in the process of doing that, which is also really, really good. In addition to the 2 copies of Beseech the Mirror, we're also running 3 Case of the Stash Skeleton. Now, the 2/1 skeleton creature that this makes won't be able to use to make more Merfolk with Deeproot Pilgrimage, because they are technically tokens, and you only make Merfolk tokens when a Merfolk card that's a non-token becomes tapped. So that part of it doesn't necessarily synergize, but the Hexcatcher will buff up the skeleton to become a 3/2 when Leyline is in play, and most importantly, the skeleton can be sacrificed to counter a non-creature spell unless the controller of that spell pays 1 if the Hexcatcher is in play, which is awesome because not only is it another thing we can sacrifice to potentially counter a spell, but it's also a way to sacrifice the token to get it off the board, to just turn on the Case of the Stashed Skeleton to get it solved so that we turn it into a tutor. And in a deck like this, where we're looking for combo pieces to assemble, having another 3 copies of a tutor here ready to go, super, super valuable. So being able to get a little bit of extra synergy with the Hexcatcher while also having a tutor, even if it doesn't combo well with the Deeproot Pilgrimage, I think is still really, really good. And also either the token or the enchantment itself can be sacrificed to a Beseech the Mirror to find something right away, which is nice. And we could just use this to find like a second Deeproot Pilgrimage if we've already got one in play and we've already got the combo online, so that we can exponentially start pumping out tokens. It can be absolutely nuts. We've also got 1 copy of Fortune Loyal Steed. This is another good way to tap down each creature individually because it has Saddle 1. Although this is legendary, so we're only going to run 1 copy. This is kind of like the 9th vehicle, even though it isn't a vehicle. When it enters, we get to scry 2, so a little bit of extra value. But what makes Fortune a little bit better in this deck in particular is when it attacks while saddled, at end of combat, you exile it and up to 1 creature that saddled is this turn, and then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So, if you saddle it with one of your creatures, say one of your 1-drops, not only are you getting a Merfolk off tapping the Spyglass Siren, and then getting a Merfolk by attacking with Fortune, and Fortune becomes tapped, so that's already 2, but then they both become exiled, come back onto the battlefield untapped, which means you can tap them both down again to make even more Merfolk, and when one of our 1-drops comes back into play, it'll give us another map token or another clue token. Talk about card advantage, it's absolutely nuts. The last card I want to mention is just a lone copy of Split Up. Now, sometimes we're not going wide quick enough to lock down the opponent. What's great about this deck is if we're up against a creature deck, we go so wide, we can just win through attrition. If we're up against a control deck, we go wide with things that can counter non-creature spells so well that our opponent can never land a non-creature spell again if we're doing our job correctly. So this deck is really good against both sides of that coin, which is really awesome. But sometimes you will get in a situation where the opponent is racing you and they're winning that race, and you're not going to have enough time to stabilize and grow your board the way you want. And in that circumstance, we have so many ways to tutor in this deck that being able to tutor up a lone sweeper is going to be the absolute best thing we can do, whether that's with a solved Case of the Stashed Skeleton or one of our 2 Beseech the Mirrors. We can just find this thing and make it happen. And since it's only 3 mana, even if we have to pay the 2 mana to crack the Case of the Stashed Skeleton and then immediately play a Split Up, it's still only going to require a total of 5 mana, which is very reasonable. So Split Up, I think, is the perfect option because it's only 3 mana. And what makes Split Up even better in this deck is we have so many ways to just very easily tap down our whole board without putting our creatures in harm's way, which means sometimes we can set up to get even more value off of Split Up by tapping down our whole board with our vehicles and then just choosing to destroy all untapped creatures. So we have extra versatility with Split Up, a lone copy that we can tutor up if we're in trouble so that we can basically panic button reset the board and then continue on with our combo afterwards. It's absolutely amazing. The mana base, very specific. We don't have to run as much mana because we have so much card draw and so many ways to dig through our deck. And also the Flywheel Racers can help color fix us and give us extra mana ramp as well. So we can get around having to run too much mana and save even more card slots for relevant spells instead of mana, which is really, really nice. But we do have to make sure we have enough black mana for Beseech the Mirror. So the mana base is very specific. If you're interested in the totality of it, definitely check out the description because the deck list is there. Now let's check out the games. This looks okay. We don't have white for the Split Up, but we've got 2 of our pieces here. We've got our Merfolk payoffs, and we just need to find the ley line. So we're going to try and keep this. Opponent is Mulliganing. Mully, mully, mully. Molly, molly, molly. Sam, I am. I am Sam. I'm not Sam. I'm CAPRICORN. Bentley, are you having a nightmare? I think Bentley might be having a nightmare. Optimistic scavenger. Alright, we're gonna get down the schooner. Depending on how things go, we might get lucky here and be able to blow out the scavenger. I doubt it. I doubt it, but it's possible. We shall see. Another scavenger. And then an enchantment. Right. I don't know if there are any instant speed enchantments that are blue. Sweet. We did get to blow her out. Blow him out. Blow them out. Oh god, what have I done? What have I done? We will do that. We will get rid of you. Hit for 3. And pass the turn. Unless you'd like to bounce it, sir. Would you like to bounce it? We be blowing Sam out of the water because we're merfolk. I'm on a boat, mother. I'm on a boat. How optimistic is the scavenger? That's what I'd like to know. Gremlin Tamer. So, still no payoffs. You don't got enough enchantments, sir. We need to draw. This is free. This is free. Another meeting of minds. Sure. Alright, well. We've managed to get pretty wide. We can counterspell his enchantments. Sheltered by ghosts. Pay 1. Pay 1. There will be none of that, sir. You are a Rudy Patootie. I think we need to play the Leyline out. I think we need to. Alright. Leyline's coming out. We're naming Merfolk. attack with the schooner. Make another Merfolk. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's over. Play out the Seachrome Coast. And we'll end the turn. Now I can still crew the schooner with the Novice Inspector to make another Merfolk, even though the schooner is tapped. No. There will be no ossification. Sure. There will be none of that. Eh? Eh? We will crew with the Inspector. Make another. We will play another Deep Pilgrimage. We will crew with the Hexcatcher. We will attack with you and with you. Make a couple more. Don't need the ley line. Get out of here. Hit for 6. We will play out the Flywheel Racer. And end the turn. It's over. It's over. All of your enchantments get countered for the rest of the game. That's a creature. So, I guess you can keep that. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. We can't stop that one. We cannot stop it. There's no stopping what can't be stopped. And he scoops. He's had enough. This looks okay. Not being able to play the Inspector is kind of rough. But we'll draw into stuff. We've got a Spyglass Siren on 1. And then we've got Hexcatcher and Pilgrimage. We've got Meeting of Minds. I think we can make it work. Alright, so we'll start with the Spyglass Siren. No turn 0 Leyline, but that's okay. It's okay, guys. We will survive. We will survive. I think the schooner might be best here, since we don't have a third land. It helps increase the chances of us hitting that. Hey, there we go. So we'll start with this. And we will attack. Saw blades, huh? We could counter it, but then we would lose our Hexcatcher. That's fine. We will let it slide. We will let it slide. Do we flash in the Hexcatcher or do we get the Pilgrimage out there now? I think we get the Pilgrimage out. Pass a turn. Well, there's a Leyline. So that is definitely the next play. We'll go Merfolk. We'll make a token. And we'll set ourselves up for next turn. He does have a Synthesizer down. Which means for one turn he might be able to get some wild value. But I think after that... I think that might be it, you know? We'll see. We shall see. Get rid of the Leyline. Play the Flywheel Racer. Do we attack with the Siren? I don't think 1 damage is really all that worth it. I think the potential chance to convoke might be better. We're going to pass the turn. We can flash this out, though. Convoke to draw. Make another dude. And then we will activate the Hexcatcher. Target the spell. Sacrifice a token. A tapped token. We'll do it again. And one more time. And yeah, we'll let him through. We'll let him through with this guy this once. But after this, it should be cake, man. We're going to have a wild, wild board. Alright, Fabled Passage. We'll find a Plains. And it's going to get real gnarly. Scry 2. Get rid of you. Keep the creature. We'll play the Novice Inspector. And, I mean, we don't even need to make them yet, right? I guess we can do this. Block. Take 2. We will end the turn. Sunfall, are you crazy? Are you nuts? There will be none of that. Nunzo, Dunzo. Crew 1. Blue. My turn. Now we have $1 billion. 1 billion. It would be really awesome to be able to attack with fortune. Unfortunately, that's unfortunately that's not gonna work. So we're just gonna swing in with our flyer, take our time, go wide with Merfolk, and eventually get there. So many doll hairs. So many. So we've got a tapped Spyglass Siren off screen over here, next to the untapped Spyglass Siren, and that's it. He has seen enough. Merfolk gets it. We've got 2 Deeproot Pilgrimages, and the Leyline, and a 1-drop. We absolutely keep this. Absolutely. Submit. Name. Merfolk. Gloomlake Verge. Play the Spyglass Siren. Up the beanstalk. We'll go Darkslick Pilgrimage. Attack. Trigger. Get a Merfolk. Oh, I forgot they had hexproof too. That's wild. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Sure. Now we just need that one dude. We literally just need the one dude that turns everything into a counterspell, and we wreck this deck so hard. There it is. There it is. Alright, we're gonna start by going like this. Actually, on second thought, I should have targeted one of the 1/1 tokens. Leyline of Transformation? No. You're not killing that. Get out of here. That was a mistake. Target the Get Lost. Sack you. Yeah, sure. We'll keep you. Backstreet. Keep you. We'll swing 8. And we'll make 4 more tokens. Welcome to the stream, Halter. We are doing the thing. This guy is locked down now. He doesn't have a chance. He does not have a chance. Not unless he has removal in the form of a creature. Which I guess he has, so. What a lucky dude. What a lucky dude. It's fine. It's fine. We'll still get there. That was kind of dumb, though. I'm not gonna lie. Well, we got another Hexcatcher. Pass the turn. He probably has a Sunfall right here. We're going to get sad. But I mean, we will have the Hexcatcher. My turn? You're gonna let me go? You're gonna let me go. You saw the Hexcatcher on top. And you're gonna let me go. He must have a counterspell. Leyline binding, but what's he gonna bind? Crew. In response. Crew. In response. Give me some map tokens. Now we have counter spells. Sure. Swing. Swing, 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 swing. Assumed he'd trade the Overlord there. And then he kills one of them. Oh no, he's not gonna trade. He has to. Yeah. And he'll go to what? 5? And his Overlord's dead. And we've got another vehicle on top. We've got a million counter spells. Even though we can only make him pay an extra 1, it's enough. It is so enough. We've got none of our pieces starting off. Let's see if we can do it. Hey, there's a piece. So we're going to start with a Spyglass Siren. Turn 2 Ks? No, you know what? We'll get the Shadowy Backstreet out of the way, I think. Split up. I guess we'll keep that on top. We don't really want it right now, but we don't want to lose access to it. It's a silver bullet tutor target for us. Just in case. Well, I guess we go like this. And then we go like this. And then we pass the turn. We will convoke out a meeting of the minds in response to him casting a spell. I don't want it to get countered. Hey, what's up, Sean? Welcome to the stream. Gonna be doing a draft shortly. But right now we're digging in with this weird Merfolk brew. Alright. Meeting of the minds, convoke to pay for it. Draw a couple cards. It's looking nice. But we need to get to stuff. Draw for free. Seems okay. Seems okay. Let's do this. We'll target the thing we want him to kill the most. Pilgrimage. I mean, we do want a pilgrimage. We do want a pilgrimage. Let's draw it. And pass the turn. Mystical teaching. Searching for an instant. He has to reveal it. What do you think it'll be, guys? Some kind of counter spell? Mind Splice Apparatus. Oh, it can find an artifact? Oh, it can find a card with flash. That's actually pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. We need to get our pieces online. Damn quick. Damn quick. No, we need land. Damn it, man. I'm a doctor, not a goober. What's more important, counterspell or going wide? Probably counterspell. So if we top deck a land next turn, we play Leyline. And all of them are Merfolk. We can start countering things, and they'll also be buffed. Which means we could swing in for the win. Nowhere to run. Sure. That's kind of what we wanted. That is kind of what we wanted. Guess now we get out the pilgrimage. He scoops? This looks decent. We don't have the black for Beseech. But we've got Hexcatcher Pilgrimage. All we need is Leyline. We'll try it. We will try it and see what happens. Lanny. Little Annie. Little Annie Lanny. I think we probably want to flash in the Hexcatcher, so we're gonna attack. End the turn. He's gonna want to use this for mana, so Naya life gain with impact tremors. Naya Heir Apparent. Naya Heir Apparent. Very interesting. We can Deeproot Pilgrimage, but I mean, we don't really want to attack with our Hexcatcher, do we? We'll see. Maybe he doesn't block. Yeah. He doesn't want to lose his Llanowar Elves. That's fine. The lack of black mana, not so much. The lack of black mana, not so much. Let's crack you, see what I can draw. Another Gloomlake Verge. Well, we'll play it. Play you. Got to get the value off the Pilgrimage while we can. Alright, well now he definitely kills the Hexcatcher. Oh, he's got another one. Would you look at that? But we needed to make the tokens if we could, so it is what it is. Meeting of Minds. We will keep that on top for sure. Because we can draw into what we need. Potentially. If we just get one black or blue source. Honestly, if we get one black source, we end up having 3 because of these verges. Which is really, really nice. Well, Merfolk. Swing, make a token. He says nice. Yeah, he's gonna say nice. He's gonna say nice. He's about to. Go ahead and block. Do it. Good night. Good night. All right, let's keep this and see what an opening hand without Leyline looks like. Let's see if we can still pull it out. We're gonna start with Darkslick Shores and play a Siren. Case, sure. We'll go Schooner. Swing 1. There's the Pilgrimage, which we are not quite set up for yet. We gotta dump that. So let's see. Do we play out the Hexcatcher? Or are we gonna get caught with our pants down if we try to? A little bit worried, not gonna lie. Let's not jump the gun here. Swing 5, explore. Seems pretty decent. Light of Dawn's Light. Sure. Flips the case. Let's see what's on top. A Beseech the Mirror. That would be nice to get a Leyline. The problem is we don't have a third black mana. I think we'll still probably keep it. Not really sure what we want to do, to be honest. I guess let's just get this out so it's ready to go. Thank you for that, Brownie Man. Good to see you. Steel Seraph. Trying to gain all the life. Alright. Go away. Annoying. Let's try and draw a card, see if we can get a land. Another one? Oh god. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do it like this. There's a land. Gonna take the damage. And he's got a lot of life, so can't really blame him for that. Do we get down another schooner? Yeah. We need to find another black source, man. And we can always just sack the schooner, the second schooner, to Beseech the Mirror. That's part of why we're using vehicles. Alright, swinging in with Vigilance. Interesting. Interesting. Well, now he's got 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐻. Man, we are not having luck today, are we? We are going down in a blaze of glory. We did get our mana, though, so we can get our third black next turn. It might be a day late and a dollar short, though. We'll see. I think he might have lethal here. 14 puts us at 2 if he doesn't have any buffs. Oh, he's got the buff on the Resplendent Angel. It's exactly lethal. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Bad. I think we keep this. It'd be nice if we had a Merfolk payoff, but we can hopefully draw into it. Let's keep the 7. Oronde the Overpowered. But are you actually overpowered? That's the question. Submit. We're going to choose Merfolk. And we're going to start with a Backstreet's back all right. Ditch a Flywheel Racer. We have 1,000,000. We have 1,000,000. 1,000,000 Flywheel Racers. Well, we've got some land now at least. We will put down a dude with the big butt against your red mana. And we will try to scry into a Merfolk payoff. That is a Merfolk payoff. In fact, that's a really good one. We're going to get in for damage because we can. And then we're also going to play Novice Inspector with the mana from the Flywheel Racer. Next turn's going to be wild. Absolutely wild. Sleight of hand, sure. Torch the tower? Well, that's fucking rude. Take this. That is really rude, actually. The end of combat. So. We're gonna crew. Oh, damn. We'd have to crew with fortune, wouldn't we? Well, I guess it's still better than nothing. We'll do that. And we'll do this. And we will swing. And then we will tap you for mana. And make another one. And end the turn. It's a lot of 1/1s. That is a lot of 1/1s. You've got an otter. That otter be nice. Scooby-Dooby-Doo-Wop. Alright. Let's go draw a card. Hopefully get a creature. No dice. Alright. We're gonna crew. Then we're gonna saddle. Then we're gonna crew. Then we're gonna crew. Go ahead, bounce him. We're gonna play you. Because we can. Attack. Let's make more. Then we're going to crew the Flywheel Racer that's tapped with the Schooner. So we make another one. Then we're going to end the turn. More. More. You do you. But I don't see you being overpowered, my friend. Buckies. Good old Storm Chaser's talent. Look at all those tokens. Well, first we'll try to surveil with the Backstreet, see if there's something we can grab. We don't need you, so that was pretty good. Then we'll play the Fortune, and we'll get to Scry. Case is decent. Although at this point, I don't think it's going to do enough. We just need to get closer to our actual Hex Mage. Or Hexcaster. Or Hexcatcher. Now I'm not sure. I don't trust you. And then we smash. We'll smash with all the boys. Every single boy. We get to explore. We get to make another token. Come on, Aronde. Show me your stuff. Tower has been torched. Resolve all. There's nothing we can do about it. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Okay, I guess it's over. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.